guys, how you doing? Hope everything is well. Everything is good with me. I'm getting better, y'all. Yes. The seed just won't leave me fast enough. But anyway, y'all, forget all that. Um, I just the sun is in here, y'all. I just came upon hearing about the gangway dock that collapsed. I didn't hear about it. I told you I've been sick, so I've really been in and out. So I want to read this here to y'all because this is so devastating. This got me so hurt. Like, I'm so sorry that this happened. This shouldn't have happened. Let's read it because this is so sad. And they were all seniors. And I heard that they were there for African American descent, you know, and they was there to have a good time, you know. Um, let's read this here because it says dramatic video captured horrified ferry gateway collapse in Georgia Island that killed 7. As a new video came to light Monday showing the chaos and the calamity of a ferry gangway collapse on a historic Georgia island that left 7 senior citizens dead and 3 critical injured. Survivors share harrowing details of the disaster. The new video taken by the witness shows that ABC captured immediately aftermath of the authority described as a catastrophic failure of an 80-foot aluminum ferry gangway Saturday afternoon at a land dock on Sapero Island, about 70 miles of Savannah. 80-foot. The dramatic footage shows numerous people screaming for help and clinging to the gangway as half of it laid in the water. Rescuers, including Good Samaritans, are seen in the video pulling people from the crippled gangway to safety as many of the victims appear to be caught in a strong current carrying them away from shore as life jackets was being thrown to them by a crew of a ferry that was about to board. This was a mess. This had to be chaos. This had to be just pandemonium. This just had to be crazy. I know everybody was just panicking. They didn't know what happened. They just probably couldn't understand what the hell is going on. Cause I'm gonna be real with you, I don't even know what's going on. I am so sorry that this happened to this here people, this African American descent that wanted to go there and celebrate. This is crazy. Investigators removed the gangway from the water Sunday evening. Video taken by ABC shows the gangway being placed on a barge and taken to a scene location of site to be close examined. We continue to move forward with the pieces of the investigation in cooperation with the Georgia Department of National Resources. Kate, the how do you say this word? I said the word, I don't know why I keep saying this word wrong. McIntosh County Commissioner told ABC on, I don't know why I say McIntosh. The cause of the collapse remained under investigation. The incident unfolded about 4 p.m. on Saturday during the annual culture event hosted by the Geechee people, descendant of enslaved Africans who was brought to the southeastern United States. More than 700 visitors flocked to the island on Saturday for the event. Officials said it was over 700 people here. They was just celebrating. My goodness, African American. It was like They call it the Geechee people. The descendant. DNR Commissioner Walter said at the news conference Sunday that at least 20 people were on the gangway when it plunged into the water. Rabin said at least 20 other people, including DNR staff and Good Samaritans, jumped into the water to save people, preventing more loss. More people passing away. Those passed away was identified as I said the same word. McIntosh County Coroner as Jacqueline Crew Carter, 75. Cynthia Gibbs, she was 74. Carletta McIntosh, 93. And Isaiah Thomas, 79. They were all from Jacksonville, Georgia. Also killed, according to the coroner, was William Johnson Jr., 73, and Queen Wells, 76, both of Atlanta, and 77-year-old Charles Houston of Darren, Georgia, the chaplain of the DNA and the Georgia State Patrol. J.R. Gardner, a boat captain and tour guide who lived on Sepulveda Island, told NBC News that once word of the tragic reached him, he raced to the dock with his boat and began rescuing people from the water. I tried CPR with some people, but it was too late, he said. Governor had pulled a baby from the water and brought her to the ambulance on the mainland. If I wasn't there to bring her across, she may have not made it, but she actually made it. The baby made it. God is good. Zelda Johnson told NBC that she attended the Geechee culture event with her husband, William Johnson Jr., and her cousin, Queen Welch, who both died in the incident. Johnson said she was also on the gangway when it collapsed, but was saved by the grace of God. He loved doing little weekend getaways. Johnson said of her husband of 35 years and the father of her 2 children. He served 28 years in the U.S. Air Force. He loved serving other people. He served at the church as a deacon, and he was presently studied to be a minister. He was loved by many. Johnson described Welch as being very warm and giving, and a woman who loved to travel. This was a trip she planned for us to do. She really enjoyed the day, Johnson said of Welch. Fran Tomy Lewis from NBC said that she and her brother left the island on a ferry ahead of the 5 other people that attended the culture event when they received the word of the gangway collapse. They said they spent hours frantically trying to find out if any of the members of the group survived. One is in Savannah with a broken leg and ankle. They're alive, Lewis said. Some of the members that were in the water, they were checked out of the hospital. National Civil Rights Attorney Benjamin Crump said on Monday that he had been retained by the family of 3 people who were killed in the tragic Crump, who did not immediately say who he was representing, planned to hold a news conference Wednesday with the grieving relatives. The tragic death and injury caused by the collapse of the island dock gangway are devastating for these families and the entire community, Crump said in a statement. We will not rest until we uncover the truth behind the catastrophic failure and hold those responsible accountable. This should never have happened, and it's critical that we prevent further tragedies by addressing the negligence that led to this horrible event. That is so true. It is so sad that these were seniors that went out there to have a good time. They was dissents. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it was, all seniors, because they were 70, 90s. You know, they was the heritage. You know what I'm saying? And they was celebrating it. You know, slavery. You know, a descent of slavery. And they were there. I guess they go every so often to this place, you know, gangway to, you know, have a good time. But this tragic had to happen. But like I said, I'm so sorry that this happened. This should not have happened. I don't understand what's going on. You know, I mean, if they go there every year or every other year, they're supposed to make sure that this dock is okay. You know, check it out before anything like this happen. I'm not understanding it. You know, I need to read more about it. But y'all, I'm gonna let y'all see a video. Okay, y'all. So hit that like button and subscribe and wait for the video. Okay.
Georgia authorities are investigating what caused the catastrophic failure of a dock gangway that collapsed on Sapelo Island, killing 7 people and critically injuring 6 more. Authorities say there were as many as 40 people on the gangway when it collapsed Saturday. About 20 of them fell in the water.
Those who died were all older than 70. 4 of them were from Jacksonville. In this photo is 74-year-old Cynthia Gibbs, who was killed in the collapse. It was just shared with us. She was both a member and a staff member of Impact Church in Jacksonville. Sapelo Island is about 60 miles south of Savannah. It's only reachable by boat. This accident happened during a celebration of the island's small Gullah Geechee community of black slave descendants. And the gangway, installed in 2021, connected an outer dock where people board the ferry to another dock on shore.
The families of 3 of the victims have hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump to represent them. Crump issued a statement reading in part the tragic deaths and injuries caused by the collapse of the Sapelo Island dock gangway are devastating for these families and the entire community. We will not rest until we uncover the truth behind this catastrophic failure and hold those responsible accountable. This should never have happened, and it is crucial that we prevent future tragedies by addressing the negligence that led to this horrific event. Our news crews are looking into this. We go first to News4Jax anchor Tarek Miner, who's been looking into the dock's inspections history. Tarek?
It's just a tragic set of circumstances. Bystanders jumping in, pulling some people to shore. Witnesses even forming a human chain to pull victims to safety. But they weren't able to save everyone. 7 people drowned. The youngest was 73 years old. Cell phone video reveals the panic and chaos that ensued as elderly victims were pulled from Atlantic waters on a Georgia barrier island. This after this aluminum ferry dock gangway collapsed under the weight of dozens of people, some of them who were in wheelchairs or using walkers. In this image that we blurred, paramedics were unable to revive the deceased. Rescue teams also experienced challenges moving the injured to safety.
I got one more. Go into the dock. We have to get her up there.
To the dock?
We have to get her to the dock. I need backboard then. No, we ain't got none. We've used them up. Take this blanket.
Stretch the blanket out this
Stretch
way.
the blanket out. Put it up underneath her butt. Tuck it.
I need you.
Roll her back onto the blanket. Gina, we're gonna roll you. Okay, I know she's hurting.
At least 40 people were on the aluminum dock gangway when it malfunctioned, authorities describing the collapse as a catastrophic failure. A strong tidal current threatened to pull some victims out to sea. A chaplain for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources is among the dead. All 7 of the victims were over the age of 70, the oldest 93 years old.
It's my understanding that the structure collapsed in the middle. One end of the gangway is in the water. One end of the gangway on the landward side is still attached. I can't tell you exactly at this point in time what happened.
Local residents say they raised concerns about the safety of the dock months before the tragic collapse.
When we report stuff like this, we get brushed off. And we're people that know the safety on what Sapelo takes to operate, but we always get ignored about safety concerns.
That ferry dock was rebuilt in 2021 after Georgia officials settled a federal lawsuit with residents who complained that the state-operated ferry boats and docks that they rely on for travel between the island and land failed to meet the standards for people with disabilities. A team of engineers and construction specialists are now investigating precisely why it failed.
Survivors and family members of the 7 people who died when a gangway collapsed over the weekend in Sapelo Island. 3 of the victims are from Georgia, 2 from Atlanta. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing some of those families and says he is seeking justice for the victims. 11 Alive's Molly Oak joining us now live from the newsroom with more on this tonight.
And Jennifer, attorney Crump saying the Sapelo 7, as he called the victims, died unjustifiably, claiming the infrastructure was inadequate and their deaths were preventable.
Dear Lord, we come to you in our sorrow.
In a church on Tuesday morning,
No words can express how these families really feel.
families of victims
That were tragically killed and catastrophically injured.
and survivors
I heard a crack.
joined attorney Ben Crump as he called for justice.
They did not die of natural causes. They died of negligence. And we have to continue to proclaim that over and over and over again.
Adding until they get answers, they won't rest.
I wish this was a dream that didn't come true.
While survivors and family members recalled the nightmare they say they can't wake up from.
I'm gonna miss him dearly. I have been his caregiver for many years.
Katrina Alexander's brother was killed.
And then it hit me. Regina, where's Regina? Oh my God, where's my Regina?
Her daughter Regina also fell in the water.
And I kept saying to myself, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
As families remembered loved ones,
Anytime we needed anything, she was there. She was a friend. She was my best friend. She was not just my mom.
pledging to fight for justice, praying for peace for each other.
I'm forever grateful for my grandmother, the love, the wisdom, and everything she instilled in me, my siblings, and my family. And I just wanted to say to all the families of this tragic situation, I am praying for each and every one of you, as you will for me.
The Georgia DNR reports at least 20 people were injured in that collapse. Now, the cause of the dock collapse remains under investigation. Now, Attorney Crump is calling for a federal investigation into the collapse and government support for all involved. Reporting live in the news. Island, that's about 70 miles south of Savannah. It happened as crowds gathered for a celebration to honor the island's Gullah Geechee community. The Gullah Geechee are descendants of black slaves.
Among the 7 people killed in the collapse, 4 of them are from Jacksonville. They are Isaiah Thomas, Cynthia Allen Gibbs, Carlotta McIntosh, and Jacqueline Cruz Carter. As of right now, it's still unclear what caused the collapse. Tonight, though, we have live team coverage as Georgia authorities begin their investigation.
I-Team reporter John Acebas speaks with a maritime safety expert for a deeper analysis into what could have gone wrong. But we begin with News for Jax reporter Ann Maxwell. Ann, you spoke with 2 people who rushed in to help right after that collapse happened.
Yeah, Joy, they were among hundreds of people on the island that day for that cultural festival. They said they will never forget what they saw.
It wasn't. It was horrific.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all.
Tracy Ramey Shepard and Teresa Haywood spent Saturday at the Gullah Geechee Festival on Sapelo Island.
It was great history, a great day.
But on the bus ride back to the ferry, their driver shared shocking news. The gangway to the ferry dock had collapsed.
And there were people in the water. And Teresa and I were like, wait, what did you just say? there were people in the water, and we were like, no, we have to go because we're first responders.
They didn't hesitate, running and then catching a ride a few hundred feet to the scene. The first thing Ramey Shepard noticed was the ferry.
There were people standing, but there was no way to get onto that ferry. They were like standing on the rail, and the plankway wasn't there. And then we looked down the beach, and there were people in the water. There were bodies laying on the shore.
With mud sucking down their feet, they rushed to help who they still could.
I went farther down because there were people probably like a football field down the shore from the pier that were in the water. People were pulling them out. So I was triaging people. Are you okay? Can you breathe?
They estimated the gangway had collapsed just minutes before their arrival. Do you know how long it took first responders, with the ambulances and all that to get there?
Your adrenaline's pumping, but it seemed like it was at least 10 minutes before I actually saw a lifeguard boat.
I know I had been working on the guy 10-15 minutes. A young lady did come by with an ambu mask, and that was the first person I saw of medical. Aside from that, I don't recall seeing anyone on the shore.
And how long were y'all there?
We were there at least
40 minutes. I don't know. It was a long while.
But during that time, a lot of, bodies.
What do y'all think y'all are going to take away from that day?
Just compassion. Everyone needs to pitch in. And we saw that. We saw everybody pulling together, trying to help those that were in distress. And we just need more of that.
And I'm going to take away, tell your loved ones every day that you love them, try to be there for them, because tomorrow is not promised. And your life could be gone just like that in an instant.
Still emotional for them days later. The commissioner of the Georgia Department of Natural Resources credited bystanders like them with saving lives. He said DNR had 40 staff members out there that day, one of the busiest days of the year on that island. He said search and rescue efforts were joined by assistance from the Coast Guard and local sheriffs and fire departments with boats and helicopters on that island, which is not accessible by vehicle. Reporting